All right, round one. This is a good hand, actually. Potentially going Vizier into Plague Belcher here and get ourselves a 5/4 menace on turn 3. That's a big threat against certain decks. And I guess it actually does give a little more usefulness to our Vizier as well, which admittedly is not all that great of a card in general. It's basically specifically made for a build around, cycle discard deck. But even ours has that synergy in the form of Seekers, basically. But that may not be enough to say that Vizier is actually a good card. It's a pretty mediocre card. I'd much prefer it being a 2/2, but that obviously would be a little bit too good. All right, well, now we even have a better Plague Belcher target here. There we go. It's a good draw. Okay. So, yeah, I guess we'll get rid of our mummy. I'd rather have the flyer damage than the mummy effect. So Plague Belcher will kill our mummy. I was kind of hoping to get a little more value off of that, but it's really not a big deal. It does turn Plague Belcher into basically a 2-for-1 against us, sort of, but ultimately I think a turn 3 5/4 menace is like pretty nuts. And we make him lose a life on top of it. What more can you ask for? Yeah, Plague Belcher is a must deal with. Unfortunately, there is compulsory rest at common, but I was going to say, if there's a way I could, Gale Strike it, I guess we can... I guess we can Winds of Rebuke it if they compulsory rest. That would have been another reason to pick up a second one, I guess. But that's okay. It's also Illusory Wrappings. But actually, Illusory Wrappings would be better for us. So if I attack, they can double block. And they can actually deal with it. So I guess we'll just swing with the Vizier. Gale Strike not looking so hot. And then we'll play the Oracle. See what we're digging up here. So we may actually just want a land on top so we can final reward this Initiate after double blocks or whatever. So we'll play the Oracle, see what we're looking at. Ooh. Okay. So we'll put the swamp in our graveyard, and we'll not put any more. And then we'll put the Archfiend on top, followed by the swamp. Okay. I like it. So we have final reward next turn, which is going to give us a pretty good attack. Leaving their mana up makes me want to be a little bit more cautious here. 5 cards in hand, 4 mana up. They didn't play a land. Or did we go first now? I can't quite remember. But may actually just be in our best interest to... Let me think about this. I mean, I feel like we do probably swing here. We can also just final reward the initiate before blocks. And that way they can't even block the Plague Belcher and we just get in for a lot of damage. And that way they can't like block in impeccable timing either. All right, let's just final reward. I'm actually not going to go for the 2-for-1 here. I'm just going to get rid of their, or see if we get rid of their blocker. Okay, now we're just going to swing. Like I said, I could have gone for the 2-for-1, but I'd rather just get in for 5 points of damage if possible. Beautiful. Worked way better. Exactly what I wanted to play around. Okay, another initiate. So now we're going to be able to go Archfiend and pass. We might as well attack. It's got vigilance. How could you not? I mean, I'd prefer if you didn't, but it's clearly the attack here. All right, they agree. They get their damage in. We draw and play an Archfiend. Not cycle. Yeah, Archfiend seems pretty broken on this board. Our deck actually really needed a Wandering Death. I should have mentioned that during deck construction. That would have helped us a lot. Because we have limited bombs. Okay, very good. I'll accept that, because that gives us a turn to maybe draw something here. So I'm assuming we're going to have to deal with some sort of... All right. That's actually nice. So Inno Ketra's name wouldn't do that. Trial of Solidarity, what would that do? 3, 6, 9, 12, plus another 4, 17. Yeah, we wouldn't die because we'd have 2 blockers. So we are just going to toastify this man. And then get in with Archfiend. And then pass. I guess we could get in with the... Yeah, that actually... Let me think about this. They have to double block this to not die, so yeah, that does make sense. Alright. Do we get in with the Oracle too then? How would that work? If we do that, then they just have to... They just have to double block the Belcher. And then they could take 7 and go to 1. So why don't we just leave the Oracle back to keep their bunch of dudes at bay. And they still have to double block the Plague Belcher to not die. And it's more likely they're going to triple block it, in which case I'm fine with that as well. We'll get as many dudes off the board as possible. I mean, we probably could have attacked with Oracle there, I guess. But like I said, it doesn't really change too much. They don't have to block the Oracle to not die. They do have to block the Plague Belcher to not die. So I assume they're just going to go Skirmisher and a couple Warriors, which is fine. We want to get these dudes off the board. We're pretty sure our opponent is just playing a Trial of Solidarity deck of some sort. All right. Okay. Let's get in with both of our guys now. Play a Skirmisher and pass. We can leave up Gale Strike to even protect our Archfiend. Okay. So we're playing against blue-white, not skies, more of a token base deck, I'm assuming. I think it's a fairly safe assumption. We see a token producer here, token producer here. Trial of Solidarity is a card. Bunch of X1s. We don't have too much against that. We do have the Splendid Agony and we have the Archfiend, which one would hope would be enough. I mean, we could lay bare the Heart to try and get rid of it or cancel it. Those are reasonable options. Like Illusory Wrapping certainly looks a lot worse here. Although this is kind of good against the Unwavering Initiate. No, it's not like, I mean, Final Reward is so much better against it. Even Late Claim doesn't seem that great, but it's such a powerful effect that you want to just run it because it, steel bombs. So maybe we just get rid of Gale Strike looked pretty bad there for the most part. But Illusory Wrappings may actually just be worse. Because at least we can draw a card off our own guys here. It's more versatile. This is probably not good enough. Maybe we just bring in a cancel. I'd rather have a counter, I think, than a lay bare the Heart. We actually have quite a few instant speed stuff too, right? Or maybe we don't. We have the Final Rewards. We have Gale Strike, Agony, Wins. and cycle. We could probably leave up cancel. And I assume we're leaving it up to hit that Trial of Solidarity at a certain point in the game, so okay. I'm okay with that. Let's try this. All right. Good looking hand. This looks familiar. Mummy into Vizier again. Cradle of the Accursed. So if that's the first land you're playing, that may actually be a good sign for us. We'll see. Because if that's the first land, typically you don't play colorless lands first. Looks like our opponent did, or else they ripped a Plains, though. Alright, going deep on those Viziers. Okay. Unwavering Initiate. Get into the Vizier, play a Vizier, pass. So this is actually an ideal hand for like a Seeker of Insight, because looting is good and we have 3 ways to trigger it, and looting is going to get a lot better when you have double Shadowstorm Vizier. So actually getting some additional benefit out of these would be nice. Gladly trade my 1-drop for your 3-drop, even if it comes back. No biggie. Okay. Zenith, Seeker. So we're going to smash and leave up our mana as though we have a cycle discard here. Yep, so that's good. They played around it. Now I'll play the Oracle. See what's coming up. So one of those lands would let us cast Final Reward. We're clearly putting a couple in there. Do I want the 5th to be able to cast Final Reward? I suppose so. Okay. So we'll get rid of 2 lands and we'll leave 1 on top. Alright. Well, guess we'll take care of that guy. I can actually Winds of Rebuke it. That might actually be better now that I think about it. Like, force him to replay it. Could actually be good. Save the Final Reward for a bomb. So we got rid of Plague Belcher and Seeker. Well, that's too bad. So if they Impeccable Time, I'll probably Gale Strike. I want to draw the extra card. Okay. So final reward would have let us draw Plague Belcher into Seeker, but I've still not attained the ability to know what's on top of my deck. I'm telling you that will be my secret weapon when I spontaneously gain the ability to know how the cards are stacked on top of my deck. It's going to be GG's, my friends. Huh, that's interesting. Okay, so I guess we can sandbag land now. So let's get in with the Oracle, play a Vizier, play a Seeker, and pass. All right. Nice. So get in with Vizier and Oracle, play Bone Picker, and pass. Oracle being a 2/4 is pretty sexy right now. So they're at 8 life. Yeah, we do want to kill the Zenith Seeker because of doesn't actually matter that much, but we want to do it because of the Seeker. Are we threatening lethal? I guess not, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm thinking if I pump with the Seeker, but we will be doing that. So we're gonna final reward the Seeker, loot, pump this dude, get in for 7. They concede, so we got round one. Beat the blue-white, not skies deck. More of a token build, I guess, but we had some nice hands there, so okay. See you in round two.